Welcome to my solo Sea of Thieves story. Sea of Thieves without teammates is rough. Facing off against crews twice your size, a true solo pirate has to rely on clever tactics, smart decisions, and a little bit of luck to succeed. I'm not the best PvPer out there, but I do have plenty of tactics to use. Tactics, which today I will show you. Now, today is a community weekend in Sea of Thieves, and as a community, we have a common goal to achieve. Complete 100,000 world events in total. So, I thought I'd put my contribution to that goal and complete some world events. And if that already wasn't hard enough for a solo, I'm going to do this with a Reaper's flag up so everyone on the server will be able to see me. So, let's begin. My adventure started at Ashen Lord outpost, where immediately after spawning, I heard a Fort of Fortune in the sky. I didn't know yet if it was contested or not, so I had to be quick to claim the world event for myself. I swiftly checked all the barrels for any curse balls and chain shots, purchased supplies from a local merchant, raised a Reaper's flag, and headed out towards the FOF. Chances of surviving a fight without properly stacking up on supplies as a solo are pretty slim. But I just couldn't wait any longer because the Fort of Fortune is usually highly contested and valuable. But before I even got close to FOF, I was already getting chased by another sloop. At first, I ignored them and focused on the fort. But the closer I got, the more I realized how dangerous it would be to bring an enemy ship with me into a fight. So I made the call to turn around and fight. It seemed like a bold move at the time, but I went for it anyways, quickly realizing that the pirate chasing me was just a new player who had no idea of what he getting himself into. A few things gave that away. A default ship, a wonky cannon shots, and clearly no strategy to a fight. So instead of fighting him, I went back to my mission of getting to that FOF first. But the sloop didn't stop chasing me, so I decided to visit him in person. Sword launched off my ship and boarded his sloop, letting him know that chasing me, let alone fighting, is a bad idea. Now that he understood and stopped chasing, I continued on my way towards the fort. I was getting close and it seemed like no one was there. This is honestly one of my favorite forts to do. I got high ground on this one and can literally see everyone coming. So this is just perfect for me. I started clearing out the fort, picking up extra supplies along the way, and keeping an eye on the map table for any ships closing in. At first, everything went smoothly. Rain worked in my favor against gold skeletons, and the constant waves of skeletons carrying gunpowder barrels made the fight almost effortless. Progress was quick, and before long, I found myself at the boss wave. That's when things stopped being easy. Oh my god, that is literally a Galleon pulling up to me. Oh no. I was too focused on the boss that I didn't see them in a distance. No. I need to be quick here. My boat drifted a bit too. I have to get moving here before they shoot me. Oh no. Now, fighting a Galleon as a solo is a whole different challenge. The key is distance. You can't let them dictate the fight. My first goal was to create space, keep them locked in at one spot with chain shots, and then circle around them to control the angle. The real difficulty comes with their crew size. On the Galleon, every pirate has a role. One bails, one holds the helm, and the other two can pour non-stop cannon fire into you. If you don't apply pressure early, they'll take advantage of it, sending boarders to overwhelm you before you even settle into the fight. And as a solo, that's where the chaos begins. You're the one managing it all, patching holes, bucketing water, keeping your cannons lined up, and defending against boarders, all at the same time. There is no backup, no margin for mistake, just you, your ship, and the storm of cannonballs flying your way. Distancing myself far enough from a Galleon, I was sending some solid shots, and for a brief moment, they weren't even shooting back, signalizing that I've done a good job, and they've been struggling to keep up with repairs and buckets. The time I got close to them, I was sending everything I had. Chain shots, curse balls and bone collars, all just trying to stop them. But despite all the pressure I was putting on them, it still somehow managed to send boarders my way. All they tried was to drop my anchor and stop me, but I wasn't letting them do that easily. They just keep boarding me, oh my god. I've been putting a lot of pressure on them too, like shooting lowers and stuff, but I guess I'm just outnumbered. Oh, wow, game. Oh, they're all ladder guarding me. Of course. Oh, shit. This is not good. Get out. I need to get out. Oh my god, this is insane. The battle stretched on endlessly, almost 2 full days across the sea. By now, my supplies were nearly gone, and a distance fighting was no longer an option. So I had to change my plan. Instead of circling wide, I steered towards the fort, hoping its cannons might lend me a hand against Galleon. I had no time to breathe and no chance to stop. It was just constant motion, repairing, bucketing, steering, and fighting off pirates with cutlass, all while trying to lure the Galleon into the range of fort's cannons. Oh, damn. The plan paid off for a short while. I managed to put some distance between myself and the Galleon, just enough to make repairs and finally catch my breath. But the seas weren't done with me just yet. Oh, hello, Galleon. Could you please not shoot me? Oh no. A skeleton galleon emerged from other side, immediately opening fire. Curse balls came crashing in, slowing me down and locking my ship in place, just long enough for other pirates to close the distance again. Suddenly, I was caught between two galleons at once. For a solo pirate, it felt impossible. Oh my god. Oh no, this is just too crazy. Could you please shoot them instead of me, Galleon? Ah, of course. Before long, my ship finally went under. Still, I knew I hadn't gone down for nothing. The skeleton galleon was hammering them now, and with their supplies running low, or so I believed, I figured they were in just as rough a spot as I was. That was enough reason for me to try again. I wasted no time, sailed straight to the nearest outpost, raised Reaper's flag once again, grabbed what I could, and set off for the Fort of Fortune. Just like before, I didn't have the chance of fully stocking up. The clock was ticking, and if I waited too long, that galleon crew could have finished the fort and vanished with loot before I even arrived. And they finished it. Damn. Okay. Still haven't opened. Now, as a solo pirate, I never expect to win every fight. What matters is making sure I walk away with something to show for the struggle. Some treasure, some reward, so the time isn't wasted. I managed to pull the galleon far enough from the fort to buy myself a window. That was my moment. I launched myself over to island and began to scout the place. With their eyes fixed on chasing my ship, I finally had a chance to explore the fort and see what I could make of the situation. Let's see what we're dealing with. Oh, everything's here. I'm taking the chests. Nice, that's one. And the other one, perfect. Taking two most valuable and important chests is exactly what I mean by reward for a solo like myself. With those secured, I returned to my ship and stashed a map bundle on a nearby island. Just in case I sank, I wouldn't lose everything. By then, Galleon crew was already loading up the rest of the treasure, but I wasn't about to let them leave so easily. Okay, Galleon, I'm back. No kegs and crow's nest. Maybe. Ah, if only I had more chain shots now. This would have been perfect. Oh my god. No. They've got all the loot on the boat now. Oh shit. That's not what I wanted to take. That is also not what I wanted to take. I wanted that skull. Ah, I got one though. Here's a tip for any solo out there. No matter how close or how tough the fight gets, never forget about greed. The fort vault had been opened, and I spotted a couple of mega kegs inside. If the Galleon crew had taken them aboard, it would have been the perfect weakness. A few blunderbombs against their hull is all it takes to set off the hidden powder. In this case, they were smarter than I thought. My blunders hit, but no explosion followed, no kegs on board. I'll keep this part short for you. I chased them all the way to the outpost, but this time the fight ended quicker than before. My ship went down once again, and there was no point in returning. I'd already secured some loot for myself, and by now they were docked next to the outpost, most likely selling everything. But the seas always have another plan. In the distance, I spotted another activity for myself, and a potential for a new play. On the very island I respawned, a rowboat waited, complete with a gunpowder barrel. It couldn't have been more perfect for me. A new play was waiting to be made. Heading towards Fort of the Dam, I knew I had to move fast. I stopped briefly at an outpost to raise my Reaper's flag and pushed on quickly, but by the time I got close, I realized the fort had already been cleared. That changed everything. Sneaking in with gunpowder barrel was no longer an option. Loot was already theirs, and I had to come up with a new plan. Here's one thing about fighting as a solo. You have to think ahead. There is an unspoken rule in Sea of Thieves. Always fight using the left side of your sloop. The left side makes movement on your ship easier and you take fewer holes. But in this case, approaching from the north, I knew the crew would likely be harpooning loot from the spot and pointed in my direction. So I broke the rule. I decided to pull in with my right side facing them. If they tried to move, I'd be right in their path, blocking them from sailing off with Fort's treasure. Sometimes, as a solo, the best tactic isn't the safest one. It's the one that throws enemy off balance. Now that I have some treasure on my boat, I needed to play more carefully, don't rush into fights, and analyze the situation. Next on the list was Ghost Fleet, a world event that I would love to begin this session with as a solo, but here we are. On the way there, I spotted a few other sloops, but my main goal was world events. And with some treasure on my boat, today I was defending rather than attacking without a need. Instead of the sloop, I went for the Megalodon that was chasing me to get myself even more treasure. Megalodon behind me, I finally turned my full attention to Ghost Fleet. This was where a solo really thrives, not by rushing, but by carefully working through wave after wave, collecting every supply crate that drops, and building up for the long haul. With the Reaper 5 already painted across the map, and a ship stacked with loot, I knew I was a glowing target for anyone nearby. That meant I had to be ready for more than just ghost ships. So I took my time. Every ghost ship that went down gave me more cannibals, more food, and planks, everything I needed to stay afloat if a real crew decided to hunt me. And little by little, I felt that shift you get as a solo. The nerves fading and the confidence building. The more supplies I gathered, the stronger I felt. I didn't rush for the flagship. Instead, I cleaned up every last ghost ship, wrangling every bit of loot and resources from the fleet. By the end, my deck was a cluttered mess of chests, skulls, and the storage crates, but I didn't mind. That chaos was my advantage, and I was ready for anything. And then, it hit me. I've been out here for so long, I'd lost the track of time. My map bundle was still sitting on that island and I didn't know how much time left before it would disappear. So I made a call to go after it next. But just as I was sailing towards it on the very next island, an Ashen Winds event had just spawned. And there's one thing about sailing solo, you don't sail past opportunity, especially not when it promises more treasure and the fight can be wrapped up fast. So I turned the wheel, just a few minutes I thought, let's see how quickly I can burn this lord down and walk away with even more loot before I chase my map bundle.
I do enjoy uninvited guests. This isn't what I planned. This will cost you.
After another world event off the list, I finally headed out for my map bundle, only to find out that I was late. But honestly, it didn't matter. By now, my sloop was already stacked high with loot from every kind of event. Ghost ships, forts, Meg, and Ashen Winds. Losing 2 chests was nothing compared to what I already had. Now comes the most enjoyable moment of any run, selling the treasure and watching the gold pile up. After everything I've been through, from fighting Galleons to clearing world events one after another, this was the reward that made it all worth it. Today I showed you how even as a solo you can thrive out here. With patience, smart decisions, and a little persistence you can compete with bigger crews and still walk away with the treasure. If you return for your map bundle in time, of course.